So, today is finally the day. Welcome if you're new here, my name is Sheet. We are going to be making our own VRM model. Or well, I'm trying to teach you how to do one. I have already made my own. I have this slideshow we are going over. If you want to follow, I will put link to this. This is Google Slides. Link to this specific one in the description. Let's get started. VRM model making by Sheet. YouTube handle is @sheetsilla001. How do I toggle between slides? Oh. Table of contents. 1. Expectations. 2. VRM. 3. Idea phase. 4. Modeling. 4.1 Texturing. VRM add-on. 5.1 Blend shape proxy. 6 Spring bones. 7 VRM material. 8 VSeeFace. And here is this little snippet of how the tracking works. So I'm right now moving my face and my head, and this ghost model is moving along with my movement, and webcam is tracking. You can also use iPhone, but I would recommend that you start with simple webcam. 1. Expectations. It's important to have realistic expectations from the start. Have you done this before? If you are a beginner, start small, fast and easy. You will need a computer, drawing program, Krita, Blender for 3D modeling, tracking software like VSeeFace, Varudo, webcam or iPhone, Unity. Unit version is 2020.4 LTS. It is optional but highly recommended for tedious VRM tweaks. And lots of patience. 2. VRM. Model needs to be VRM format. What is VRM, you might wonder? That file format handles humanoid character avatars, but with some trickery we can also get not so human-like models to work. Our model will be 3D and it has 2D expressions. For the sake of simplicity, expressions are VRM0, not ARCIT. Here is list of VRM0 expressions. Here is the link to that. And ARCIT expressions for iPhone tracking. Link to that. If you are going to use iPhone tracking, you will need a paid app for that. 3. Idea phase. Sketch out some ideas, best to experiment in 2D since 3D modeling tends to be slower to do. Remember to think of all directions since we are moving to 3D space. Turnaround drawing is useful for this. Visualize front, back and side. Here is an example. Not done by me. I found it from Pixabay. And now we are moving to the source. 4. Modeling. Well, now that we have our idea in mind, let's make the model itself. I am using Blender for this and VRM add-on for it. That way we do not need to convert our model to VRM format by using Unity. Unfortunately, Blender cannot visualize every VRM aspect like Unity can. For example, you can see how models collider groups and spring bones work before using tracking software. So you have to put your model to VSeeFace to see how those spring bones and collider groups react. Also, doing fancier materials for the model is possible in Unity, using for example Poyomi, that's hard to pronounce, Pojuomi shaders, and here is link to that. They also have Discord server. This is my ghost model. So I have a crown, flowers, my expressions, and bloody cape. Here you can see the topology. Center of flowers could have less vertices, but well, it's not that strict because the model itself is very simple. And this is my bone setup. Here are these round objects. Those are collider groups. What else? Yeah, here is some statistics for those who are interested. Just like triangle count and face count of the model. And this is my base texture. Mouth and eyes also has their own texture. As you might be able to see from here, I have 3 materials in this model: base colors, mouth and eyes. Make your model look however you like the best. Try to already think of how you would move it. My ghost model is moving via head and neck bones. No arm or full body movement. Also, what comes to file size and good habits, keep your model clean. And here is an example of AI generated model. This topology is very messy. Do not do it like this. And yes, I tried to AI generate 3D model for the first time today. And this was on their website. It looks good, but when I took a look at the topology, which is like when you go to Blender's edit mode, that is called the topology, because you can see all the vertices and faces that the 3D model is constructed of. I guess it's like that. Hard to explain words that I don't understand fully by myself. But please bear with me and Google if you want to have clearer explanations. 4.1 Texturing. Texturing. Let's add some color to our blank mess. This is how my base texture looks. One single image. I exported my UV layout to Krita and painted there. For doing it in Blender, use UQ-Paint add-on. That way you can have layers inside Blender. We are doing expressions this time in 2D, but I kinda think 3D would be easier, even if at cost of stylization. I have total of 3 textures, one for the base mesh colors, eyes and mouths. Just like I already explained it, but here you can see the mouth texture and the eyes. Some expressions can be mirrored via UV maps. Blink left is blink right, but mirrored. Look right is look left. Eyes down could have also been eyes up, but I didn't realize it while making these textures. And once again, we have VRM expression list here. I did already link it, but thought I would share a screenshot here. I have made it so every eye and mouth shape has their own plane and UV unwrapping. So this is how I chose to tackle this. Someone in my previous video mentioned that it would have been enough that I just switched materials of the model, but then again I don't know how it would work because I would have to have every expression on their own material, and there would be like tens of materials then. Dozens of materials, that's the word. So this is the way I did it. I have multiple planes and like said, every expression on their own plane. And yes, it's tedious work to do. When expression changes, right corresponding planes are brought forward to visible area. All planes are inside the model all the time, like can be seen here. They are just moved back and scaled small so they would not be visible unless their shape key is toggled on. Names of the shape keys won't matter. VRM blend shape proxy names do. So these are Blender shape keys that are specific to Blender. Well, I guess they do transfer with the model, but like your VRM won't be reading these ones, but it will be reading blend shape proxy from this VRM add-on. As you can see, names for these are important to have right. And these shape keys you can just make up by yourself. Name them however you like. Even works in your native language. 5. VRM add-on. At this point I will tell you about the VRM add-on for Blender. It is necessary for making that VRM format that tracking software reads. To download add-on in Blender, go to Edit, Preferences, Get Extensions, and select VRM format by typing it to the search bar. After that, press N key to open the side panel. You should see the VRM add-on there. Create VRM 0.0. VSeeFace can read that. When you want to export, go to File, Export VRM. And remember to check the box that says Export only selected. But back to making the model. Press Create VRM Model. Human armature appears. If you don't have human-like model, you will need to tweak this armature. And here is the button for pressing Create VRM Model. Okay, so these are my ghost bones. For your model, of course, delete unnecessary ones and just keep required, or add new bones if need be. That huge middle bone is the head. It's all my ghost really needs for the movement. There are also some bones for the dresses, spring bones. And if we look at the VRM add-on, it can be seen here that we have required VRM human bones. And we have section for optional VRM human bones. For optional ones, I seem to have shoulder right and shoulder left, but I doubt I will ever use those. Remember to connect the armature to your mesh. Select the mesh, select the armature, and press Ctrl P. And from the box that pops up, select with empty groups. Then go to weight paint mode and paint some weight onto the mesh. If you don't do that, your model won't move with the bones. And we have our first tip. Do not have eye bones at all if those do not drive the movement. I added this here because I think VSeeFace won't use your eye expressions if you have these eye bones on, because it expects for bones to drive your eye movement, but we have the 2D expressions doing that. Oh my god, this is a long one. Feel free to pause the video if you need a break, and take breaks. This is not like one evening job, at least wasn't for me. 5.1 Blend Shape Proxy. This part connects our model's shape keys into VRM format. Naming is important to get right. This add-on already sets up these shape keys for you. So you do not need to write these by yourself. But if you want to do around 50 archit shapes for that iPhone tracking that is fancier, yes, you have to put their names in manually. In Binds user, okay, this is me explaining how to set up these blend shape proxies. So, in Binds users the right shape key that model has. Down here we have the binds. Set the weight and bind it to the right expression. So we have neutral going on here. And we have to, by pressing this plus icon, add right shape keys to it. And you cannot see it well, but down here we have also the weight. If I would set weight to 0, then my neutral expression would not have eyes. But when it's at 1, it has eyes. I think we have another explanation for this next. Oh, and right. I am using isBinary for everything since my planes are either visible or not. No in-between movements. Here is the isBinary button. And it's on for all of these expressions. By default is off, I think. Example. Joy E moves happy eyes on front and Shark M moves shark mouth plane to front. That is how we construct fun expression. And then we have some screenshots. So like I explained, we have fun expression here and binds for it are Joy A and Shark M. Their weight is full on 1. And if we take a look at the Blender shape keys, Joy Eyes 1, Shark Mouth 1. And I have this tick box toggled on. Here is the explanation for that. Shape key edit mode is useful to have on. Edit when the shape key is fully 1, not like 0.8. Then you would edit the movement of 0.8 expression. And shape key edit mode. Display shape keys in edit mode for meshes only. I have this on because when I'm moving the planes for these planes of the mouth and eyes, I want to see my shape keys in the edit mode. Sometimes, especially when using planes, some shape keys do not blend well together. I could look right and blink at the same time, and that was not desirable. Here is nice example of what was happening. So, how did I figure this out? How to fix this, I mean? Well, it required a lot of tedious tweaking. I did it by having 2 shape keys on and moving not desirable one out of view, but while having the shape key of the one you want to be visible selected. So, even if you have blink right, it might also move look up panel to prevent the overlap. And test the model in VSeeFace, because you won't know what expressions overlap. Or well, I guess you could, but I didn't unless I tried to move the model and speak at the same time and do my expressions. And then I noticed that, oh my goodness, things are not behaving like they should be. And we move into part 6, spring bones. Okay, this is Finnish word, but yeah, it's just a name, not that important. Helma bones for me are spring bones. They have some gravity and reactivity. And here I have them isolated. I would recommend setup in Unity. Blender does not read these. So you can in Blender create the bones, but in VRM spring bone settings I would do these ones in Unity. But I have already played with them in Unity, so it was okay to do them in Blender. I'm pretty sure gravity direction is in Unity world axis. Here. So y would be up when in Blender z is up. And tip. Center bone can be left empty, having it wrong can prevent the movement from not happening. Center bone we have here. I have it set, but I guess it's just okay to not have it at all. So leave this one empty. Collider groups are optional, as are spring bones. Blender manages to show collider shapes, but you cannot see how they affect the model. Tip: bad collider setup can hinder bone movement, and too strong spring bones can cause the model to shake in VSeeFace. 7. VRM Material. When you scroll down to the material section in Blender, there are VRM material options. I use those to make my model more cartoony. You can even add an outline there, though I myself prefer to do it in OBS, screen recording software. And here you can see the screens of that VRM material options. I'm only using lit color alpha and I have my texture selected there. Then I played around with this shading tune and shading shift parameters. 8. VSeeFace. Almost at the finish line. Using VSeeFace for motion capture, Varudo is more complex but has many more customization options. You can, by the way, get it through Steam. So in VSeeFace you have to go through settings one by one and set up them right for your custom model. I cannot give you any specific parameter settings because it depends on so much. Tip: experimental expression detection gives you more expressions to work with. By default you won't see these neutral, fun, angry, joy, sorrow, surprised. You have to set them on by going to settings and you can see this one here. That was all. Good luck. And I can go to sleep. Well, I guess I will start to edit a little now that I have this recorded. Thank you for watching. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, put them in the comments and I will answer if I know the answer. Bye.